Accounting Standard 9, Revenue Recognition. So in this section, what we are going to do is we will see what is revenue recognition. We will see the timing and conditions of revenue recognition. We'll just see what is realized revenue versus earned revenue. And we'll also have a short discussion about the accounting standard in the case of revenue recognition. So first, what is revenue recognition? Revenue recognition, a principle of accrual accounting, requires that revenue is recognized in the income statement in the period in which it is earned and realized, not at all when all cash is received. So according to the standard, revenue should be recognized and realized and earned. It is nothing to do with cash which is received in the case of revenue. In addition to that, the revenue has to be earned and realized. Now, what are the timing and conditions? For revenue to be recognized, the following conditions have to be satisfied. Namely, seller loses control over the goods sold. So seller should lose all the control which he or she has on the goods sold. Collection of payment by customer is reasonable and is assured. So whatever payment that is the collection of payment by customer is reasonable and is assured. So the customer payments are reasonable and assured. Amount and cost of revenue can be measured. So we can measure the amount as well as cost associated with the revenue. As well as rewards and risk of ownership have been transferred from seller to buyer. So whenever there is a title which is involved in the case of sale of goods, the rewards as well as ownership risk should be transferred from the seller to the buyer. So these are the conditions which has to be satisfied for revenue to be recognized. It's not just merely transfer of money. Every condition should be satisfied. So if interrupting the conditions 1 and 4, which is seller loses control over goods sold, as well as rewards and risk of ownership have transferred from seller to buyer, if interpreting these conditions, it conveys actually performance measurement. Interpreting condition 3, which is amount and cost of revenue, which has to be measured, is about measurability. And condition 2, which is collection of payment by customer, conveys collectability measurement. Customer payments are basically collectability measurement. So in this context, it is also important to go through two concepts, realizing revenue as well as earned revenue, which is what we have here. So revenue is realized when goods or services are received by the customer, but not necessarily payment is received or payment is expected later. So when the revenue is realized when goods or services are received by customer, even before making that payment. Whereas earned revenue means goods or services are received by customer and perform satisfactorily when in the possession of customers. So when in the possession of customers, goods or services are received and performs satisfactorily. That is earned revenue. Now let us see what is the accounting standard. Basis for recognition of revenue is explained in the standard. It states that quantum of income that is credited to profit and loss account as well as recognizes the income and time at which income is realized. Now the standard also measures and determines how revenue is recognized in the following condition, namely sale of goods. So how revenue is recognized in the case of sale of goods, rendering of services, and use of enterprise resources, that may be interest, dividends, royalties, etc. Now about disclosure, the circumstances leading to postponement of revenue recognition, if in case it is postponed, should be disclosed. Also, this accounting standard does not deal with revenue from hire purchase or lease, insurance contracts, government grants, as well as construction contracts. Thank you.